I'm Matt McClure, and this is Currents. What would Christmas be without a baby? We've got lots of them, and we'll tell you why they're at one local church.
He actually loves to come to church.
Want to really make Christmas merry for others? Why not adopt a family?
It's our sponsored family Christmas program, which provides a Christmas meal, turkey and all the trimmings, and age-appropriate toys to 2,000 families.
And a Brooklyn parish decks the halls.
It's not just about pretty things and nice things, but it's really about extending the love of Jesus.
Well, good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. With Christmas rapidly approaching, chances are that your church will be packed with people on December 25th. And so that might make you wonder, where are these people the rest of the year? Well, a study a couple of years back found that only about 1/4 of Americans who identify as Catholic attend Mass every week. But the church is working to try and change that. And there's no better time to reach out to families than at Christmas. Producer Ingrid Rojas checked out one effort recently at St. Saviour's in Park Slope.
For many babies, this will be their first Christmas, and Father Daniel Murphy, pastor at St. Saviour's Church in Park Slope, wants to give them a blessing during baby's first Christmas, a special Mass celebrated with them in mind, now in its second year.
It's important to do this because we want to reach out to their parents to connect them once again with the parish where their child was baptized.
This year, 82 children were baptized at St. Saviour's Church, many of whom were in attendance today.
Dear Lord, we ask you to please watch over these babies throughout their whole lives. Keep all harm and evil away from them. Guide them, guard them, cherish them. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
One of those in attendance was little James, who was baptized this year by Father Murphy.
Little James loves anything involving commotion, fuss, lots of people, ritual, ceremony. So he actually loves to come to church.
For Emily Chase and 7-month-old Lily, it's good to be surrounded by a community of young families.
It's important to start a tradition of Christmases with your young ones, and it's nice to get the blessing from the entire parish.
Well, every Sunday's special, but this Sunday is more special because the congregation gets to give Emma a special blessing, and that was something that was important for us today.
St. Saviour's also has a toddler group where young parents can network. Father Murphy hopes baby's first Christmas becomes one more way to keep parents coming back to the church.
And we hope it will make a good, significant, positive impact on the parents and godparents and grandparents.
Well, definitely a very special Christmas there for those families. When we come back, we'll have a look at how Christmas will be radically different this year in another part of the world. That's Iraq. That story and the rest of the day's headlines next. Welcome back to Currents. I'm Matt McClure. Coming up later, making Christmas beautiful at a local parish. But first, let's turn to today's headlines. Well, the largest Catholic healthcare group in the country is coming out in support of the Arizona hospital that was stripped of its Catholic affiliation on Tuesday. Catholic Health Association President Sister Carol Keehan said in a statement that St. Joseph's Hospital has a well-known history of protecting life at all stages. She also said that hospital officials there correctly applied Catholic healthcare directives in a controversial abortion procedure last year. In the meantime, the hospital and the Bishop of Phoenix both held news conferences yesterday to tell their side of the story. Kristen Harrington was there.
The bishop's decision has changed our Catholic status, but not our heart.
St. Joseph's Hospital stripped of its Catholic status.
The fact that this situation stems from a decision to save a young woman's life is particularly sad.
The case in question involved a seriously ill mother of 4 suffering from pulmonary hypertension. She was 11 weeks pregnant, and doctors say the pregnancy put additional stress on her heart, so doctors ended the pregnancy.
It was felt that the only way that we could save her life was to perform this procedure at St. Joseph's, that death was imminent if we did not act.
Bishop Thomas Olmsted disagrees.
the smallest, the most vulnerable, the least of our brothers and sisters, was directly killed.
The bishop calls it an abortion and disregards the fact doctors say the procedure saved the mother of 4.
The reason that it's morally wrong is that we cannot take the life of an innocent human being. One of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not kill.
The bishop hopes parishioners will consider the church directives when seeking medical care.
If you're Catholic, you should try to live your Catholic faith authentically.
Despite the split, St. Joseph's CEO Linda Hunt says,
nothing is really changing at St. Joseph's.
The name of the hospital and statue of St. Joseph remain, but Mass will no longer be allowed. Still, the hospital says it will continue to honor its Catholic heritage.
We're still sponsored by the Sisters of Mercy. We will adhere to the religious and ethical directives.
Well, the Catholic religious order, the Sisters of Mercy, which she just mentioned, founded St. Joseph's in 1895. In Washington today, President Obama officially signed into law the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Congressional leaders and former military members who had been discharged under the policy, which openly banned homosexual service members, joined the president today for the signing ceremony. Now, President Obama said new policies would be fully implemented over the next several months.
That is why I say to all Americans, gay or straight, who want nothing more than to defend this country in uniform, your country needs you, your country wants you, and we will be honored to welcome you into the ranks of the finest military the world has ever known.
President Clinton signed Don't Ask, Don't Tell into law back in 1993. More than 14,000 service members were discharged under the policy. Some military chaplains, though, say they fear that the repeal will serve as a distraction for troops and could lead to religious discrimination. Well, the U.S. Bishops' Conference, meantime, is lamenting the fact that one of their biggest legislative priorities did not pass this year. The DREAM Act would have helped children of some undocumented immigrants to obtain legal status through service in the military or through post-secondary education. It passed in the House but stalled in the Senate. In a statement, the bishops said they would continue to advocate for humane immigration reform that would, quote, protect our national sovereignty and honor fundamental human rights. Well, a day after census numbers revealed the U.S. population is growing at a slower rate, a new study shows capital punishment is on the decline. The Death Penalty Information Center says that the number of executions in the country fell by 12% in 2010. This year, there were 46 executions in 12 states. That's down from 52 executions in 16 states a year earlier. Reports say the decline is due in part to changing attitudes about the death penalty, but also to the high cost of carrying out the sentences. In China, the government is striking back at the Vatican after the Holy See criticized Beijing for violating religious freedom and human rights. A government spokesman said it is the Vatican that is attacking religious freedom in China. He said the Catholic Church, quote, works to promote political ideas under the pretext of religious belief, which is very dangerous. The government also said that foreign forces should not influence religious organizations. Now, last week, the Holy See said China was turning up its nose at efforts to improve relations by appointing bishops without the church's consent. Well, as Christmas quickly approaches here, Christians in Iraq continue to live in fear of more terrorist attacks. Church leaders in Kirkuk, Mosul, Basra, and Baghdad called off plans for Christmas celebrations this week. They say they will not put up Christmas trees or hold Mass on the holiday. They also encouraged parishioners to refrain from decorating their own homes. Iraq's small Christian community still reeling from a deadly attack on a Catholic cathedral in Baghdad a few weeks ago. Well, it's a different scene, though, on the Korean peninsula. Churchgoers from Seoul brought some Christmas sparkle to South Korea's border with the North on Tuesday. But instead of promoting peace, there are fears it could do a little more to create a target. The Christians there decorated a nearly 100-foot tall tower at a military guard post near the demilitarized zone and switched the lights on. It's the first time in 7 years that lights have been permitted on that tower. The move is widely seen as part of the ongoing propaganda war. On Tuesday, 80 Marines, 5 fire trucks, ambulances, and anti-North radar were placed by the tower in case of provocations from the North. And finally, the Vatican released Pope Benedict's schedule for the Christmas holiday today. We get all the details now from Rome Reports.
A few weeks before Christmas, the Vatican lets everyone know what the Pope will be up to for the Christmas season. On the 24th, the Pope will host a Christmas dinner at the Pontifical Apartment. His secretaries, priests Georg Ganswein and Alfred Zwereb, will also be there. It will be a sad Christmas this year because one of the Pope's domestic caretakers, who was considered one of the family, recently passed away.
At midnight, the Pope will light a candle from his window at the end of the brief inauguration ceremony of the Nativity in St. Peter's Square. Then before the Mass, he will place the baby Jesus in the manger of the Nativity in his living room, next to the Christmas tree.
At 10 p.m. Rome time, Benedict XVI will celebrate a widely viewed Christmas Eve Mass in St. Peter's. The Mass is a global event, gathering ambassadors and pilgrims from all over the world. During this ceremony last year, the Pope fell to the ground when a young woman jumped over the barriers to greet him. On the 25th, the Pope will celebrate Christmas in 60 languages. From the central balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, the Pope will give his famous blessing, Urbi et Orbi, which means to the city of Rome and the world.
Feliz Navidad, que la paz de Cristo reine en vuestros corazones.
On
December
28th,
his brother from Germany will arrive to spend the rest of Christmas with him. It is an old tradition between the two brothers. Before, when he was Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, he would go to Germany to be with his brother Georg, and he always arrived on December 28th.
In the last ceremony of the year, the Pope will recite the Te Deum, a traditional prayer of thanksgiving for God's gifts throughout the past year. On January the 1st, the Catholic Church commemorates World Peace Day, and the Pope will celebrate his first Mass of 2011. During this Mass, Benedict XVI will pray for the needs of all the countries in the world. At the Vatican, the Christmas season officially closes with the Feast of the Epiphany on the 6th of January. During this celebration, kids take center stage in remembering the day the wise men, guided to Bethlehem by a star, were the first to visit and adore Jesus. On this morning, the Pope will celebrate Mass in the Vatican and the Angelus in St. Peter's Square. Normally, there's at least one person dressed like one of the three kings among the throngs of pilgrims. As you can see, keeping up the Christmas tradition means following a pretty busy schedule.
Another interesting note as well, the BBC says that Pope Benedict has recorded a special Christmas message especially for the UK. BBC reporting that it's the Pope's way of saying thank you for what he saw as a very successful trip to the UK back in September. Stay tuned, there's much more Currents coming up. Just ahead, want to give this Christmas? Why not adopt a family?
There's a button right on our website, www.breadandlife.org, and they can make a donation.
Welcome back. Well, this week we've been turning a spotlight on ways to give alternative Christmas gifts and help some of the neediest among us, including families. Well, one way to do that involves adopting a family. Recently, Anthony Butler from St. John's Bread and Life stopped by to talk about just that. Tony, thanks so much for joining us here once again. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
I guess about this time last year, we had a very similar conversation about this different program. Your second year of doing the Sponsor a Family program.
This way, actually, it's our 13th year, though, of the whole program.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
great.
It's grown from a couple hundred families to 2,000 families.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing growth there.
Yeah.
Give us a little refresher course, first of all, if you will, about kind of the basics of the program.
The program is an additional program we do on top of feeding 2,000 people a day. It's our Sponsor Family Christmas program, which provides a Christmas meal, turkey and all the trimmings, and age-appropriate toys to 2,000 families, which is about 5,400 children this year.
Wow, that's amazing. Of course, the need is great this year, especially, I guess, with the economy. Of course, it was great last year when we talked as well, but still great out there. What are you seeing as far as a response goes to the pleas for help for these kids?
The response is decent. We could always use more because one of the things is some is donated, but some we have to purchase, and costs have gone up.
Right.
And the numbers, we did about 4,800 children last year. We're doing 5,400 children this year.
Wow. So how exactly does the program work? If somebody wants to sponsor a family, how do they go about doing it?
What they can do is they can go to our website and they'll find this brochure. which gives the details of buying turkeys or,
Sure.
or purchasing toys or a certain number of families you want to help. And they go right online. There's a button right on our website, www.breadandlife.org, and they can make a donation.
Cool, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's got all the details there.
Yes.
And there are kind of different levels of what they can do.
Yes,
It's
very
not
different
just,
levels of giving.
Yeah, it's not just one thing, like you
Right.
give, $25 or whatever,
Exactly.
and it just goes for that. What are you in most need of? Are there certain things that you are in need of more than other items, perhaps?
Items we are in need of, it's actually cash, because one of the things we do, we have to purchase, particularly for the older children, we purchase the movie ticket vouchers.
Oh, okay.
Because we can't afford teenagers want.
Right,
and they
right.
really like those. But they cost us that. I mean, we've outlaid over $12,000 for those tickets, and they're very nice. We give them tickets so they can take their friends.
Yeah.
And it's a very popular. And some of the food we had to purchase this year. So by sponsoring a family through cash, to be able to provide a nutritious and healthy meal. This year we've made a significant green initiative and local initiative by purchasing turkeys from a place outside of Syracuse that are antibiotic free and
Nice.
sustainably grown, cookies from Islip, root vegetables from Goshen, to really support our local farmers and to provide more nutritious meals for our folks.
Well, that's great. That's very good. What else is different this year? I know you were telling me before we went on here that there's a little bit more, well, I guess, some new technology that's come into play here.
Yes, what we've done is adapted our food pantry technology to allow parents to choose toys for their kids. Christmas should be a time of dignity. I mean, we are celebrating that God made us as dignified as we possibly could be, and we should elicit and show that dignity to the folks we serve. And by that, parents should be able to pick the toys. I shouldn't tell some parent he should give his son X or Y.
Right.
So they're awarded a certain amount of points, 1 point per child, if you will, and they go to our touchscreen and they choose the Barbie doll or the basketball or whatever we have in stock. And it's worked out very, very well.
That's great. It's like, you don't have to get your girl the Betsy Wetsy if she
Right,
doesn't want it.
I know.
It's like the whole. Never
Yes.
thought I'd say Betsy
I would
Wetsy on
say-
the air, but there you go. Well, what kind of, we were talking about the need a second ago. Is this year, has it been kind of different from past years as far as the need that you're seeing? I mean, we know, as we were talking before we went on, last year was kind of bad too, as far as the economic downturn, which really started in 2007. What are you seeing as far as need versus response?
What the need continues to grow. It's not as bumped up as much as it did. We saw last year almost a 60%. Now we're running about 10% increase per month in terms of need. What's happened though is the response has stayed steady as opposed to growing with the need. And that's been our weakness. And we are seeing an increase demographically of young families with young, slightly larger families of 4, but a lot of young families that are really struggling. And what's happened in this economy are the folks who got laid off are the folks who have the hardest time finding work. There are people working in the service industry and like that.
Yeah. Well, obviously our prayers are with them and
great.
with you as well
Well,
as you continue the great work that you're doing over at St. John's Bread and Life. Really appreciate it, Tony Butler, for joining us here today.
Thank you. My
very
pleasure.
much. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
And we do have much more about the work of St. John's Bread and Life over on our website. Just go to currentsny.net and search for St. John's. Now, coming up tomorrow, we'll actually have the final installment of our series on alternative giving. It's a remarkable program we're going to be talking about, sponsored by Catholic Relief Services. But for now, stay where you are. There's more Currents ahead. When we return, how a Brooklyn church prepares for Christmas.
It just lifts their spirit, just to be able to enjoy something as beautiful as this.
Well, finally tonight, a lot of us have been decking the halls lately, putting up the tree or hanging the wreath, untangling those strands of lights, getting the home ready for Christmas. But the same thing's actually been happening in countless churches around the world as well. And for some big places, it's a big job. We wanted to get a sense of just what that entails, and we visited St. Augustine's in Brooklyn this week as a small army of volunteers set to work.
We believe it's another expression of our faith to create a beautiful worship space for the celebration of the Incarnation. So we do try in so many ways to touch people's hearts and help them in a very practical way. We believe this is another way of doing that, through the beauty of the church and the beauty of the decorations.
We have been doing this for a long while, and we have been lucky enough to have people who are specialists in this field to come in and help us.
We've brought in all the poinsettias and the wreaths and the lights, and we're in the throes of decorating for Christmas Day.
So it should be very beautiful.
There's lots of details, so it's more than just putting out the poinsettias.
It's not just about pretty things and nice things, but it's really about extending the love of Jesus to our neighbors, to even the people in the parish here who will enjoy all of this.
We have a Spanish community, a Haitian community, and an English-speaking community, and we are all coming together to decorate our church.
It's not too different than a family decorating their home because they spend so much time here, the parishioners do. So this is, in a sense, an extension of their own home. They want to make their homes beautiful at Christmas, and they certainly want their church to be beautiful at Christmas.
It's good for the community to do work together for the church. It's good.
The most precious thing that you could give, like a place or a person, is time. You can wrap it or you can, but your time. That's what I give. If I had time, that's what I give.
More people come in to see the decoration, and we are together.
Some people come every year to help out, and a few people that are here today are brand new, and hopefully they're enjoying it so they'll come next year.
It's been wonderful because the church looks beautiful every Christmas.
It looks so good, it looks really good, except when it's decorated.
It does create a feeling of warmth. So many people enjoy this season. Maybe of all the different seasons throughout the year, they love Christmas the most.
Oh, I think it just lifts their spirit and just takes you out of the rush and hurry and everything of the season, just to be able to enjoy something as beautiful as this and to see that people really care. We're making it beautiful for God. Yeah, that's what we're really doing.
Reminds me of, being a kid or a teenager and decorating with my parents and my sister in our home as well. Brings back a lot of great memories there. Of course, we've got a little taste of the Christmas season here with some decorations in the studio also. And it's snowing behind me. Isn't that cool? Anyway, that's it for tonight. Meantime, remember, we're always online over at currentsny.net. You can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And if you have a story idea, maybe you just want to get in touch with us about pretty much anything, just drop us a line. The email address is dropusaline@currentsny.net. Until next time, I'm Matt McClure. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great night.